Let me see.
Oops.
Oh, wow. He moved to the west side. Dude, he's closer to us than we're going to go there when it opens up. Hell yeah.
Hey everyone, this is John Trent with Bandana Comics. I'm joined by my co-host Jorge Arenas.
Hey,
And
everyone.
how's it going? Your article has caused quite a stir. So much so that this Quinn Welsh-Wilson person is calling for us, for his followers to mass report us and
It was one
accusing
heck
us
of a
of
stir,
being
man. It was like smacking a
transphobic.
hornet's nest, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's all about his original or Quinn's original accusation about orcs being racist as depicted in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I found that really well. I think Quinn got angry because of their own comment, right? They admitted that, hey, I don't even play this game, but I'm still going to opine
Well, I
and
don't
try to
think he
change
admitted
it.
that he did. Quinn didn't admit that they didn't play the
Well,
game.
doesn't like the game.
They admitted
There,
that
there
it's
we
not
go.
their game of choice
Yeah,
for
there we go.
tabletop. But they're
Yeah.
still trying to basically shame Dungeons and Dragons and their depiction of orcs as being racist, and I assume that they want that to be changed.
Well, I mean, that's what we all think of orcs, right? They're nothing but nice, lowly farmers who are very, very kind. They don't do anything. They're not warlike creatures at all. That's just that's been in the fantasy genre for what, centuries now.
Yeah, I'm not sure when exactly orcs came into existence,
They've been
but
around
yeah.
forever. Orcs have been part of fables for generations. Like, heck, orcs are older than most nations, for God's sakes. And this person wants to come out there and say, well, they are a representation of slavery and colonialism. That says a lot more about them than anything else. That's the first thing that they look at when they think about orcs.
Yeah, it's absolutely absolutely ridiculous and insane. You wrote up this article today that we published today, kind of just exposing that this person Quinn Welsh-Wilson, who had originally kind of started all of this drama about Dungeons and Dragons and orcs this past weekend, when they tweeted out CW blatant racism. Here, let's kind of just pull it up here. I got the share screen.
Let's give everyone a refresher before they could take the chaser.
Yeah. So, where is it? Hold on. I don't know. Yeah, that works. I think it's this one. Nope, that does not work.
Hey, while you're pulling up, I'll tell you. While I was writing the piece, the first thing that popped into my mind, of course, as a avid Warcraft player, was Zug Zug. A lot of that, right? Because that's about as much sense as some of these tweets had to me, right? They made absolutely no sense when they were complaining about uh, orcs and trying to compare them to modern day or even past racist issues that we had in our history. You got it up yet?
No, it's
Still
not
working on
showing
it?
up for some reason.
Oh boy.
Yeah, keep going.
It looks like the elves are helping Quinn out, huh? They're trying to mess with your computer to keep it from showing up.
I
Looks
think
like you
this might
pull.
work. There we go.
There we go.
Okay.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you penned this article this earlier today. And Spencer wrote the first one a couple days ago, discussing that Quinn Welsh-Wilson started this whole kind of drama on Twitter, April 25. You can see it was about, I guess that's like 2 weeks ago, I guess, around there.
About 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, saying that it looks like the tweet's been deleted now. I'm not really sure why. I'll have to go in and figure that out. It's kind of strange it's not populating. But Quinn wrote, CW blatant racism. I'm in genuine awe that this shit came out for this edition of D&D. Holy shit. And then it's a picture. Let's see if we can get it on. Probably it's going to be blocked here. Yeah, blocked. But it's a picture of the latest Dungeons and Dragons edition, where it describes orcs, and it's pretty generic description. of what orcs are. There isn't really anything. I don't think there was anything really wrong with it. It's just, hey, these are orcs. This is
Well,
what
that's the
they
whole point
are.
of an RPG, right? You have different races that you can, I don't know, role play that tend to have very different natures. You have your wood elves who are more likely to become druids, who have the bonuses to with nature, with magic and their crafting. Orcs tend to be better warriors, and that's because each race in D&D has these innate, unique abilities within them, and that's all that the manual is really expressing there for newer players or even older players who've been playing the board game for so long to understand and kind of build their own little world. And for this person to take that idea out of that is a little special, right?
Yeah, for sure. And so after they made this claim, I guess a couple days later, May 3rd, professor of psychology Chris Ferguson wrote an article that was like orcs are not racist, and basically broke down all the arguments people were making that were claiming that orcs were that people were making to try and defend this idea that orcs are racist. And he broke it down piece by piece. And for publishing that article in Psychology Today, this Quinn person called him a slavery defender.
And again, it
Yeah,
showed the fact that Quinn was able to extract that out of Dr. Ferguson's article is amazing, because I read the article a few times myself last week when it was first published in Psychology Today. And, Dr. Ferguson basically said what everyone was thinking. Where on earth, in God's green earth, did you pull this out of your ass? Right? Like, I mean, in what fantasy, that's the wrong fantasy world that you're playing, and D&D's this, not that. Where did you pull that out of your butt to get that idea? And then, of course, Quinn decided to call the good doctor a slavery defender. I guess that was that. His vocabulary is very limited.
yeah. So even worse though is that this was, I guess, May 3rd was when he called him the slavery defender. But a little bit before that, Core Quinn indicated that Dungeons and Dragons is overwhelmingly not my game of choice. So Quinn decided to start all this hubbub calling orcs racist, and then admits that he seemingly doesn't even care to play Dungeons and Dragons anymore.
I just find it funny because I'm not gonna sit here and pretend to be the biggest aficionado when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons. My experience with the game has been a little limited. I played it here and there, especially it was easier years ago when people were closer to me to play the game. And of course, we have tabletop simulators. I think it was the last time I played the game a few weeks ago, and even with Baldur's Gate, right, the video game, the old school video game, of course, that was another way of playing the game. But the fact that this person decided, was very honest with the fact that it's not even the game of their choice, it makes me wonder what was the motivation behind the comment. And of course, the attack and the dogpiling on people who disagree with them.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. So what was interesting is that the whole orc conversation kind of jump-started this, the whole attack on orcs jump-started this conversation on gatekeeping. Sophia Narwitz wrote an article in RT actually saying that we should start gatekeeping hobbies and franchises because companies and businesses and corporations aren't doing it. And we're seeing these hobbies and franchises that we've all come to love for their stories and their characters and their gameplay just be absolutely destroyed by people like Quinn, who want to make these absolutely insane accusations that orcs are somehow racist. And I mean, one of the first articles I ever published was in the Federalist, and it was talking about how these activists like Quinn will stop nothing to ensure that their vision of what these franchises need to look like is enacted. And they were openly admitting it. This was this was talking about, I was talking about superheroes at like Marvel Comics and DC Comics, and you had Comics Alliance, which is now defunct. One of their editors, I think his name is Andrew Wheeler, I believe. Don't have it up with me, but he was basically laying it out like how far they wanted to take it, where they wanted to enact this vision to basically change the characters and radically alter them so that they fit their vision of what the characters should be, rather than how they had been and how people came to love them.
And I'm glad that Sophia, she made that point. She's absolutely right. Gatekeeping has been a dirty word for a long time, and I think it's about time we kind of got back to it, because as we've all reported for several years now, these people have come into some of our most beloved franchises, whether it's video games, comics, movies, Star Wars, Star Trek, especially for me. And not only have they completely taken a crap on them, but they molded and expect us to believe it's a Mona Lisa style painting, right?
And I mean, Marvel Comics has been like, as you wrote in the article here, that they let the wolves in the henhouse, and we're getting things like Snowflake and Safe Space and Internet Gas and all these.
When I first saw that, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a really early April Fool's joke.
Is a joke. It's like, is this a joke? Are you actually trying to like parody something here, make fun of people? But no, these people are deadly serious, and this is the state of where these franchises are at the moment, where they're creating things that you can't even parody.
I haven't seen parodies do that well, and unfortunately, it's not a parody, because it would have been a great April Fool's gag for Marvel to bring people back on. Because I'll tell you what, I think it's been a number of years since I even picked up a book from a shop, because of how garbage the arcs have been over the last, oh my god, 10 years now at least.
Yeah, I think
it seems like most of the time they write to
Marvel Now is when it all started.
Yeah, they write to lecture fans, and it's not just with Marvel. You see with Star Trek, and it's mentioned later down in the article as well. Patrick Stewart coming back to Picard wasn't because they wanted to continue on Roddenberry's humanist positive message of a future mankind. It was more like F Trump, F BritX. I'm super old.
Brexit, yeah.
Brexit. Thank you. I'm going to be angry, and I'm just going to revitalize Professor X from Logan and say I'm in the 24th century. And after watching like a few episodes of Picard, here and there, I was like, done.
Yeah, these people
because it's garbage. But then you end up with these other fans who are so invested in these who are so invested in these franchises because they want to be liked by these SJWs, that they try to call you out if you don't like it. You're just not being inclusive. You're just being a hater. To a point, you're right. I just hate garbage. I'm sorry. Don't expect me to take the bowl of garbage and say it's chicken noodle soup, for God's sakes. It's not. It's garbage. If you want to lap it up, that's on you.
Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of. I mean, Narwitz points to a lot of these franchises that have kind of been overrun, where at this point, I know a lot of people are just kind of abandoning them because they didn't gatekeep. They didn't keep these folks out of it that have no intention of staying true to the original vision of the franchises. And so Narwitz says that gatekeeping keeps your hobby healthy. The last thing you want is people like this invading it. Pass it on. That was on Twitter. Followed that up with her, like the article in RT. And you kind of go on, and like you said, you were talking about Star Trek here. You talked about Star Wars, and you kind of come to the same conclusion that yeah, we do need to start gatekeeping these franchises because these people just come in and their only goal is to rewrite them in their own vision. And
Ironcaster in the chat made a really good point. It's like a BS test, right? You want to a simple BS test on people to make sure they're not looking to poison the well of your hobby. I don't want to bring someone in to enjoy Warhammer 40,000 if I'm going to sit there while we're trying to play the RPG game and have them lecture me on why the Emperor and his people are xenophobes. It's a game, for God's sakes, people. Relax. Yeah. It's okay. I don't want to watch Star Trek and then see all this inconsistency and continuity because they want to fit today's narrative. going completely against what Roddenberry did, which was we're going to give you some visions of today, of the issues that we're experiencing today, i.e. the Cold War, Cuban Missile Crisis back in TOS, or even the fall of the Soviet Union and TNG, and then, Middle East rumblings with DS9. And we're going to give you an abstraction of it. No, we just want to slam it in your face and not even give you an opportunity to make a decision what you think, but we're just going to shove our opinions down your throat.
Yeah, and
I'm not the one for
I think
stuff shoved down my throat. I know some people like that.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. And when they can't shove it down your throat and you push back at them and you write an article like this, they take to Twitter to
attack us. I love it.
They take to Twitter here. And they literally are calling on people to mass report us, claiming that the article was somehow transphobic, which I don't even. It's absolutely absurd.
Yes, because in the entire article that was put up, we put there's something in there that related to transphobia. I don't know. I guess I wear glasses. I must have missed it, but. Again, that's them pulling something out of their butts.
This is just it's utterly ridiculous. I don't think you need to defend yourself with the article.
Oh, I'm not. I don't need to defend myself. It's just that this is how delusional people like this are.
Yeah, this is. I mean, it's a false flag. So you can just see here.
Some of people in the chat mentioned, people like this. People don't speak like this in real life. It's only the basement dweller, Twitter phobes, not phobes, but the Twitter obsessed people who speak like this. They're not normal human beings. I wish they were, because, we could actually have a conversation with them. Instead, they need medical attention. There are psychologists out there that can help them. They just need to make a phone call.
But I mean, they're calling this targeted transphobia, which is utterly ridiculous. What's interesting is that they go on to then Quinn goes on to call for the followers to mass report. And if you look at the actual, I don't know. If you look at this is what's even. I don't know if y'all can read this. Let me see if I can zoom in.
I can read it a little bit.
Okay, let me see if I can zoom in here.
There we go.
So here's the abuse. This is Twitter abusive behavior. So it says you may not engage in the targeted harassment of someone or incite other people to do so. We consider abusive behavior an attempt to harass, intimidate, or silence someone else's voice. I mean, that's, to me, maybe I'm misinterpreting that. But that exactly sounds like exactly what Quinn is trying to do. They're the ones trying to silence us, trying to harass us, and try and make us stop espousing these opinions that disagree with theirs.
Exactly, you're right.
It's total projection. We know that these types of people, they lie all the time, and what the lies that they say are usually are the truth about themselves. You see it time and time again, that what they're saying about you is actually what they're actually doing, and we see that right here. This is exactly the case. But we won't be silenced. We've seen that. We've had this happen to us before. We had Michelle Perez was trying to get us canceled as well back in the day. Who knows what happens to Perez? They, I think, have just kind of. I don't even know if they're even doing anything in the comic book industry anymore. While we're still here, we're still going strong, and we are still growing every single day.
Well, and you know what I think got this person mad is the fact that they were called out. This is utter projection. I know Spencer's piece, Dr. Ferguson, myself. This is utter projection on their part, right? Not only
exactly
how they view Black people, and other minorities, but also this whole accusation of us being transphobic. This is just them projecting their own insecurities upon other people because, I don't know, they're not well.
No, I totally agree with you. But what they're doing is insidious. They are trying to silence us, and they're trying to use their followers to try and shut us down. They are trying to shut you up, Jorge. They're trying to ensure that your opinion can't be shared on Twitter. That is exactly what they are trying to do, and that is just absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah,
whereas
what you trying to shut down people they don't like. Ooh.
Yeah. Whereas what you were doing was you were critiquing their opinion and offering your own. instead of trying to engage with us,
Exactly.
they decided to try and silence you and founding into comics in general.
Yeah, and them coming after me and then all of us as a whole is unacceptable. And many have tried, and they've all failed, right? But at the end of the day, it just I feel bad. I'm not gonna lie to you, John. I feel bad for these people. People like this, they're sad human beings. To live their life like this. As myself as a Catholic, I pray for them, but I don't expect much for them because of their history. They're just what they are.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get into a religious discussion, but yeah, I agree with you on that point for sure.
Yeah.
But we still have to defend ourselves, and the best way that we can defend ourselves is through our supporters here on YouTube, people who read our website. I'm going to be shamelessly plug we just launched a PayPal. I'm going to share in the chat here. Hopefully it'll work.
Show us love, guys.
So these people can't silence us. So if Twitter, which we know that they do, they've done to a number of people and even publications where they shut people down. The best way to prevent that from happening is to support us directly. So we do have a PayPal button now where you can do that. I just shared that in the YouTube chat. I'll put it in the description as well after we finish up here. But that is the best way to support us through PayPal, visiting the website on a daily basis, sharing the articles, sharing our videos.
Interact with us, guys.
Yeah, interact with us. Share our stuff on Twitter. Yeah,
we love speaking to all of you who read our material. I love interacting with our readers. Heck, there's a few that I play on Steam with, right? And I've developed amazing relationships with. So please, like, share, subscribe, and of course, interact with us. We're here. We'd love to hear from you all.
Yeah, so they are trying to shut us down. They are trying to silence us. They've been doing it. Like I said, Michelle Perez has tried to do it to us in the past. Quinn is just the latest person in a long list of people who have tried to do this to us. We do not plan on going anywhere, and we are not going anywhere. So if you could please support us through any way you can. I know times are tough right now with everything going on. But yeah, we will not be silenced by these people and their followers. We will continue to publish our opinions and shine a light on these people who are trying to ruin beloved franchises, games, and brands that we enjoy. And I do think
we're going to fight back. As consumers of this product, and I know someone made a comment in one of those feeds earlier on Twitter that they don't even want to consume it. No, we shouldn't be rewarding bad behavior. I'm not going to sit here and give someone my hard-earned cash for a product that is substandard. It's not giving up. It's standing up for our fandom. It's standing up for the culture that Star Trek, Star Wars, all of that has built in our own lives. I know it's touched everyone, whether it's D&D, whether it's Star Wars. It's all had a special place in our hearts. And to hell with these people who believe that they should be able to chastise us and banish us from our own areas.
Yeah, and I think I know a lot of folks in the fandom, and specifically, are kind of forget these things, move on to something else. I understand that perspective, but I do think that they are worth fighting for. I don't think we should just abandon these things. I applaud people like Ethan Van Sciver, John De La Rose, people who are creating their own franchises and brands and stories, and doing it that way. Billy Tucci, he's bringing back She. Yeah, those guys are doing like awesome work. And that's awesome. But I do think we also can still fight this fight for these franchises that we love, because at the end of the day, it's the people behind them who are creating them. And if you get different people in, you can get different stories.
Amen to that. We're not going to give up. I'm not giving up on Star Trek. I still have multiple series before 2009's what it became. And I'm going to, we'll continue pushing forward. It's as simple as that. You don't, just because you have the orcs descending on the gates doesn't mean you open up the gates and go to a new castle. You fight them off and you defend your place.
Right. I mean, we saw that with Lord of the Rings. I mean, with Gondor,
Deep, right?
I mean, they were almost kind of resigned to giving up and letting everything. The one he's not the guy who was standing in place for the king, the steward. I think his title was basically like he was giving up. He goes off and throws himself off the cliff. But then you have Aragorn and Gandalf who are willing to fight back and not let them.
It's better to fight back and stand up and instead of just laying down and getting on your knees.
Yeah, I totally agree. So Comics Division, thanks for joining us. I think we're about to wrap it up. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Keep reading, keep commenting, keep engaging. If you guys see anything, let us know. Give us tips. We're always keeping our ears open.
Yeah, thank you so much for your support, guys. Like I said, we are going to continue to publish articles like Jorge's about the orcs and people who are calling them racist. We will continue to be exposing these people who are trying to ruin and destroy these franchises that we've grown up with.
And if anyone wants to play some D&D, let me know.
All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And we will be back Wednesday, which is tomorrow, I believe.
Tomorrow, yeah.
I get my days kind of confused now with everything. 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Bounding Live. We'll probably be discussing this again, but we'll also be discussing a lot of other things that have happened. Most definitely some of The Last of Us Part 2. We'll be talking about that. Oh, yeah. That is huge. And we have our own problems with that with Sony and Naughty Dog DMCAing us. I'll have a video up on that later today, hopefully. So look forward to that. So we got a lot of things going on. But yeah, Bounding Live is tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern. I'm joined by my co-host Jorge Arenas, as well as a number of our other writers, Donald Edmonds and Drew Taylor, who are here in the chat with us. And we're also
guys.
Hopefully be joined by Spencer Bakuli, who joins us, and Philip Pratt. And then we're also usually joined by Script Doctor as well. So look forward to that, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We do that every Wednesday. So that's, again, tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Exactly, guys. Unless the zombie apocalypse happens, we'll see you all here.
Yeah. So thanks all for joining us, and we'll see you on Wednesday. Have a good one.
Laters.